Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Balls Deep. Welcome. We are excited to share lots of things with you. Today we will be covering a variety of things, but originally we wanted to have a blend of, like, we've got so much to catch up on. So is it going to be about travel? Is it going to be travel hacks? Is it going to be about us and our relationship? But we've done so much and we've moved about a little bit that we thought we'd focus this episode really on travel updates.
We shall. Yeah, we have got a ton. It's first when we started this podcast, we really didn't know what to talk about, so we just started talking, and it was all right. You know, we enjoyed it. We've enjoyed every episode, but I think the content wasn't strong. But now we've made a habit of, whenever something happens or we have, you know, something funny, something noteworthy we think that could develop into an interesting conversation, we note it down now on our docs, and we've come to it, you know, a couple hours ago, and there's so much. So, and we've sifted through it, and we've only taken like 3 or 4 things out, so there's a lot to do. So, like Shelby said, you know, we like to blend it, but today we've just got so many travelling updates.
We do.
Yeah, we've got too much.
I would actually like to start with something that I haven't discussed with you.
Oh. Is this not on the...
It's not on the agenda, but it's something that just popped into my head.
Okay.
I feel like we need to take a moment to mourn the loss of the clap on the podcast.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
we've learned. So originally we recorded on 2 separate devices, right? You recorded on your phone, I recorded on mine.
I think we started on the laptop first.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, we started out on the laptop, but that just had like the fan of the laptop in the recording, so that was awkward, and that was like a difficult thing to attempt to edit out. Then we moved on to 2 separate phones, and then last episode, for the first time, we trialed just recording all through my phone. Now, when we were recording on 2 separate devices, we did a clap to line up the audio, but last time I think we also did it because I didn't figure out the logic that it was on one device and it didn't need...
It was very amusing.
It didn't need a line in. But I guess the sad day has come that we no longer have the clap.
Oh, right. Well done. I didn't know you were going there. Wow, well done. That does deserve a clap. Well done, Shelby.
Thank you.
That was funny. And I'm sure you'll tell us about your crabs later as well.
We'll tell you about my crabs later for sure.
Which will make sense in due course. Wow, that was a good joke.
Thank you.
Good. You set that up and everything.
Thank you very much.
Fair play.
Some might say I'm a pro.
Well, yeah, I think many would say.
Well, yes. So that's that about the clap. And I guess we'll get into it. So... Scott, what would you like to say about the Malaysian taxi drivers?
Oh yeah, this is an apology to all Malaysian taxi drivers. So I've learnt that out of me and Shelby, when this podcast gets super famous, I've already learnt that I will be the first person cancelled out of the 2, because I listen back to every time one goes out. I listen back to it, to enjoy it, but also to see how we can improve. And I didn't realise how many things I say that could get me cancelled. None of them are too. I'm not, a pig, but I think I'm just pretty. I don't know, maybe a bit too confident with some of the stuff I say, and calling all Malaysia taxi drivers knobs is maybe a bit far. I didn't mean it. It's just I was a bit heightened because we just had back to back for like 2 weeks. Just had a problem with like every taxi driver. So we're just like, my God, like this is just how taxis are in Malaysia. But I must say, in the last 2 weeks, we're there for a month. They did redeem themselves, and we had a lot of nice ones and ones that didn't talk our ears off. So I think, I don't know, I think it's a blend of an unlucky experience / I think we're in Ampang, which is really, in UK terms, is really not far from a city, but apparently in Malaysia, that's to everyone in Malaysia, that's like being in another country. But it takes 15 minutes to get into the city.
20 max.
Yeah, so taxi drivers can be quite shitty, we found, for having to drive out so far. Again, that seemed odd to us, but anyway. But no, the last 2 weeks was much better. So I think it's a combination of bad experience and also drivers don't like coming to Amp.
Yeah.
They like to just stay within the city grounds. So it's a learning.
Yes.
So you're not all knobs, thank you. Some of you are, but most of you really aren't.
The ones who listen to our podcast are not knobs.
Yeah, we love you, and we look forward to getting in your car soon.
Nice.
All right, I'll take this next one. This is one that I needed to make everyone aware. You know, when I was sifting through what to speak about, we've got so many things, and it's so hard to prioritise things for conversation, but everyone needs to know this because it's becoming a problem. Shelby sits on everything and anything. And what the most impressive thing isn't that. The most impressive thing is that she doesn't notice. If I was to, let's list off some things you've sat on and not noticed. And like when I say not notice, not like not notice for 5 minutes. She'll watch a 2.5 hour film and not be aware until go, oh, that's where the controller was. Like, so you've sat on controllers, phones, documents, passports. You know, you've sat on. I've seen you sat in a laptop. You've sat on some big thing. Like, how the fuck would you not?
Bottles of water,
like a bottle of water, like jammed up her ass, and she had no clue. And she'll just sit there, like not even, she'll mention it. She'll mention she's uncomfortable. She'll just sit there and we'll be chatting for like half an hour watching a film. And then when she finally, we move, I guess to somewhere else and wherever you are, you'll know it's all right. There's been a bottle up my ass for this 2 hours. And it's just, and I just don't, one, we'll have to interview her in a minute about how she does this. But two, only 2 pairs of sunglasses, which is already enough for travels. Usually people have 1 pair of sunglasses, but 2, I also have 2. She's broken them both by sitting on them.
In fairness, sorry, I do have 3, but the one I haven't broken is the 50p Primark ones.
Oh, have you sat on them yet?
You see, I'm not sure. I think I have. They're just so like, they're not sturdy, they're bendy. That's the I think the pink ones.
Is it the Aviator ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are wonky.
Oh, they're totally wonky, yeah.
So I reckon you've sat on them at some point.
Oh, yeah, I've
so
100% sat on them. I've just not broken them yet.
Exactly. So she's sat on all 3, broken 2, and the last pair's wonky. So my first question is to you, is just probably why?
I really don't know. Like, I don't understand how it happens, but if I see a seat, it's like I'm blind to anything else. Because I'm like, comfort, I'm going to go sit down there. Or like, like the sunglasses thing, every time it's happened, either on a beach or like on a sunbed. So I think I've put my towel out, I've sat down, I've started to put sun cream on, I've put my sunglasses behind me, something like that, and then I've just thrown my legs around and laid down. And that's how I've ended up doing it. But I mean, let's not forget, this is just one trip that I've broken 2 pairs of glasses on. I've broken countless in my lifetime.
Like, well, yeah, all by your ass.
Yeah, all by my ass.
Oh, that's the thing. And, that example you gave is a very forgivable example, because that's an example that anyone would, break their sunglasses. But you do, like, it blows my mind when, when there'll be, like, a phone, they're all like, I think most people go, I'm sat on a phone. Like, I'm going to move, like, I'm going to notice it. But you won't notice it.
No, I don't.
You'll sit on a sunglasses, you'll sit on just documents sometimes. Like, just document. Like, how are you not... you just sit on them for hours, and then we'll be looking for them, or I'll be looking for them, and then you'll move and they'll be there. So it's either...
Keeping them warm.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if people are listening to this, let us know. Is this something you suffer with also, or
yes.
is this just a Shelby
thing?
Someone
else break things all the time by not noticing that you sat on them.
It's
I can't be the only one.
No, I don't think so, but I think you are. I think you do a lot more than the average person.
I think I do, yes. It's not the best.
But from funny stories to stressful stories, but this is both a stressful one, but it's funny because no one loves stress, but you know, stressful moments can also be quite bonding, and well, they can be very bonding, and they can be quite rewarding after. You know, some stressful experiences are not. But to be honest, this one, it was pissing us both off.
Yeah.
But I think in a funny way, it was kind of enjoyable. After now I look at it, I go, it was an experience that we had to deal with to make it work. So I'll let you chat away about it, my dear.
Yes. Well, up to this point, so we've had most of our flights have been with AirAsia, which they've been great generally. Like there's no complaints, but they do have a strict hand luggage policy, which is 7 kilograms. Now you can have like a rucksack and a pull-on cabin suitcase in addition to like a handbag or a laptop bag, like most airlines, but they insist upon it being a 7 kilogram combined weight, and that once you've got a small suitcase that can weigh 3 kilograms, so it's really difficult to then actually put anything in it. Kind of like negates the point of having the case. But on our flight from Bali to Singapore and our flight from Singapore to Malaysia, we got away with basically a lot more than we should have.
Oh yeah.
So we've
been getting away with a lot more than we should have in every travel we've done.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
time we've got on a plane.
I mean, side note, coming back from San Francisco, we literally filled pillowcases with.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
Because we read online that you're allowed to take a pillow in addition to whatever, which is true. But we just filled like these, and they weren't small pillowcases. They were like super king size pillowcases.
Yeah.
That we just filled with clothes.
We had clothes in. I think we had a chair in one of them.
We did. We had chairs in both.
Yeah, we had a chair in both, like a camping chair in both of them. Yeah.
Just like the small ones that looks like a little triangle, sort of with no back, wasn't it? So it was like a small. But anyway, that was So we had a camping chair in both. But one tip that I would say is, in that instance and in the other instances that I just spoke about that we got away with, we were very late to board. And I think that we were so late, they were like, we haven't even got time to argue with you, get on the plane. And they just took stuff off of us. So BA, when we landed in London on our transfer to Manchester, they were like, you've got too much stuff. We're going to check it for you for free. Like, it won't fit in the cabin, basically. So they just took a load of stuff off us and put it in the hold. And then likewise, from Indonesia to Singapore, we were late to the gate, and they were like, we should be charging you for this, but we're going to have to... Oh, was that in Singapore? No, they just let us on from Singapore to Singapore.
I think Singapore to Malaysia, she was a bit arsey with it. Which, again, they have every right to be.
Cause we broke the rules.
We are taking the piss. Because it's not like our suitcase is over. You don't have to weigh our stuff to know it's over. Because we've got a suitcase. So you're allowed, obviously, a suitcase and really a freaking handbag. A small thing. But we both have massive rucksacks. Yeah. Plus, we both have extra. We'll tend to have other drawstring bags. Sometimes we can have like 3 bags holding each, plus a small suitcase.
We've got over double what we're allowed.
Oh,
for sure.
Easily. I weighed it. We had 20. Our average carry-on is 20 kg.
Yeah.
So that's it's quite a bit more.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit more. And our total weight at the moment of all of our luggage is 90 kg, which is nuts.
It is. And what we've been doing is we've been paying extra for, like, the bit that you definitely can't get around, which obviously when you're weighing your cases, when you're checking them in, we have been allowed, I think, 25 kilograms each, maybe. Or was it 20 kilograms each? We've been making
the default is usually 20 each.
20
Most
each,
airlines will be 20, but we've had some pretty good airlines that have been giving us 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been making it up to 60 kilograms total checked.
Yes.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
Which, one thing with AirAsia is that's good if, like, so say we're allowed 20 kilograms each. What you can do is the more that you purchase, the less it is per kilogram. So, for example, if we were to pay for an extra 10 kilograms each to make it to the 60, so like you'd have then 30 and I'd have 30. Let's say that would be £50 each or whatever. But if you were to make just one of the cases 40 kilograms, so add in, you've still got the same amount of extra, still 20 kilograms extra, but if you just put it onto the one case, it might work out at just like £60, so you're saving 40.
Yeah, you do.
And AirAsia, and I believe this is the case with most airlines, it's a cumulative weight with the person that you are travelling with, but you need to be on the same booking. So if you're travelling with a partner, travelling with a friend, and you've booked that flight together, you're on the same like booking reference, then it's a cumulative weight amount. So that's worked in our favour. We've saved quite a bit of money there.
That's helped a lot.
However, if you book separately but you're travelling together, it won't work.
No, they can be arsy about it.
Yeah. So these are our experiences up to the one I'm about to speak about, where we've just got away with it. We've, showed up to the gate late, not intentionally, and we've been rushed. Like, we've gone as quick as we possibly could. It's just that we've had hold-ups for security or whatever else.
Yeah, we've been pretty good at getting there at least 2 hours. We've not messed about. Maybe once we got there a bit late, but we've never been under 2 hours getting to the checkout. And usually we're getting there like 3 hours, but it's just some airports are just not fast. Like UAE, the one in Dubai was super fast. Yeah. We got through in security in like less than 10 minutes.
It was very efficient.
Like checked in, everything. But then, which if Malaysia one was not all fast, it took, and we got there 3 hours before.
Yeah, and we ended up getting on the flight 5 minutes before.
Yeah, it took us 3 hours to get. It was, but we did face the nightmare that Shelby's gonna.
Yes. So the reason that, despite being there 3 hours before, thinking, great, we've got loads of time.
Yeah, we were laughing.
Kuala Lumpur Airport will weigh your hand luggage before you can get to security, and they are militant.
They are, yeah.
So if you've got a backpack on, they don't seem to weigh that, but if you've got anything resembling a case, then they will.
They're weighing the cases, or if you had like multiple bags.
Yeah.
Which we had both.
And they sent us back, I mean, like twice, really. We ended up going out and trying to fix things. And
yeah, we tried, like, at first, obviously, we tried, let's just try fool them,
Yeah.
Because we ain't checking in more. It's going to cost, like, so much more money. So first, we're like, let's fool them. So what did we do? We got rid of, like, some silly items, like food we were taking.
Yeah.
We got rid of some silly items we really didn't need. And what did we do? Didn't we put all the more weight in your bag or something?
I think so. And also because you've got like medication that should be allowed.
Yeah, that did piss me off. Yeah, that annoyed me. Again, it might not be sort of it does say in the terms, but it doesn't clearly state that you get that free weight. So, if it's not free weight, my anger is unfairly on them. But, I do feel a bit, I guess that is discrimination really, because that's like saying, someone with a wheelchair,
Exactly.
Sorry mate, that's over 7 kg, you're going to have to check
like
that
your
in.
walking stick, or like,
like a walking
something else that you need for your health and well-being. It's not like you got a shit ton of vitamins. Like it's.
Well, exactly.
It's necessary medication.
Yeah, exactly. And hilariously, my medication comes up to just 7 kg.
Yeah.
Because again, I need it for 6 months, because we're not going home for 6 months. So, so it literally, my entire luggage weight allowed is taken up by medication. I can't overcome that, and I refuse to check it in because I've had many bags lost in my day, and if my medication gets lost, I have to go back home to get more. So, I've got to keep it on my person for safety. So
I'd be interested to know if anyone knows anything about, like, if you can get some sort of travel card that gives you exemption, or because like cabin crew and stuff, they get an exemption to take whatever, or like there's got to be something surely that. Yeah, because that was really frustrating. Yeah. It seemed really unfair because that was a big part of, obviously that was a large amount of the weight. So then it seemed,
that was my. If he took that off, I was only a couple of kg over, which I could have easily put in the suitcase.
Yeah.
But because they were so adamant, we had to put way more, and we had to check our 2 rucksacks.
Yeah.
And did we check the mini suitcase and the mini suitcase as well? So we had to check 3 extra items.
Like was falling apart, and so you got the fragile tape from one of the crew members and just like wrapped it right around the suitcase.
Yeah, I always get scared that, especially when you compress suitcases a lot, the zip, you got to be really, you got to have a good eye on the zip. You know, if you don't zip it right, or if it's jamming a bit and then you just force it, if the zip doesn't connect, then if it creates a hole, it'll just pop open and your shit's going to go everywhere. So, and it's just been thrown about by all these machines, so it's going to get thrown about. So I was just like, I've got so much electronics in here, I'm just going to tape it all up. So, but yeah, it was, I mean, to give you a bit of because I don't feel like we've sort of said, how it felt. So we went in there, they were like, no chance, go check it in. We were angry. We threw out a load of food items, moved the weight about. We then deliberately went to a different, so there were 2 people. We deliberately went to a different person thinking, let's dupe them. Even though the other woman who'd recognised us was saying, come here, sir, come here. I just said, ignore her. Just don't look at her. Don't look at her.
She was like shouting me from behind, madam. I was like, nope, not turning around. Not turning around. Yeah,
we were just like, ignore her, go to this other guy. Hopefully we'll have better luck. He turned us right back round. And I sort of, we had a fun conversation. And then we went back to check in, and then, we are just now queuing up. There's about, there's all the queues are messed up as well. And we were on the floor, suitcases out, and we were just in the middle of the queue, and everyone just walking around us and just, all queued up. And then finally when we got it done, because we were at sort of a different check-in piece for people that this was happening to, which it was happening to a lot of people.
We weren't alone in it.
No, every time you looked over to that queue, there was someone arguing with one of these people weighing their stuff. I must say, for those people doing that, weighing the stuff, I do feel sorry for them. That's a rough job.
Yeah.
But the second we were ready to check it in, which took us probably about half an hour, just because we got to a point where we're like, we don't know how we're going to make this work.
Yeah.
Because because in my mini suitcase it's all electronics and that's all super heavy, so it was making it really tough. So we weren't freaking out, but we were like, shit, this is not working.
And also certain items that we wouldn't have been able to check, like power banks and things like that.
That was it, yeah.
So it was like a toss up of all the what's heavy because we need to pack it. Oh, but that heavy thing is not allowed to be packed. So it was like there was many points throughout that process where I felt like my brain was just gonna short in a minute and I wasn't going to be able to understand anything.
Yeah, I feel like in those moments you've really got a tag team, and I feel like we do that well.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be moments where one of you sort of freaks out more than the other, and that's where the other one has to sort of take charge. But I feel like we tag teamed well, between moving the stuff about, like, okay, you focus on this bag, I'm going to focus on this bag, I'm going to focus on getting heavy stuff out, you focus on emptying that. Oh no, we can't check your guitar because it could get smashed up. So.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was 100% not packing.
Yeah, so then we're like, right, you figure out where that's going to go, I'm going to move all these electronics. Right, I need to go quickly, which checking counter do we have to go? Right, I'm going to quickly go to checking counter, you just carry that on. So you just have to tag team and just work efficiently together. You can't just work siloed, otherwise it's just going to get worse. You have to tag team. And the second we had done it all, the guy at the check-in that we were about to speak to, which I made, it was obvious we needed to speak to, we were right there. He left. He just walked off and he never came back.
Put the closed sign on his thing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was almost as if he was waiting for us to stand up and then he just went closed and walked off.
He watched us and you would have seen us for like half an hour doing it. And there was people behind us as well queuing to also see him. And we stood up and he just put close sign on and walked off. And we were like, what? Like, and as you know, in airports, queues, it's ridiculous. And, in an airport, even if a queue is like 10 people deep, I've been in situations where that takes 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know why the fuck it does, but it just does sometimes. So now we're in a position where, there's a queue next to us which has about 10 people in. We've got about 40 minutes to the plane.
Is the famous quote that we'll get to.
Yeah, so we're like, oh crap, what are we going to do here? So then we just sort of, spoke to the people. I think we spoke to the people and we just sort of merged into the front of the queue.
Yeah.
And we just said, please, please, please. And people are usually respectful of that once you make it clear the situation. And then we finally got our stuff in, and the check-in people were very nice.
Yeah.
It was, expensive.
Yeah, because we then had to check a load of that. Then we had to pay, I think it's about £140.
Yeah, and what had we already paid?
At least 50 in addition.
50? I thought we'd pay way more than that.
What, you mean prior to
for
boarding?
The extra, yeah.
We've paid, on various flights, we've paid 30, I think we've paid 60, and I think we've paid about...
Well, the one going to Japan's mega expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's silly.
Yeah, it really varies. Yeah, that's a flight that's coming up. That one was like over 100. One freaking airline was trying to charge us like, what, 300 quid or something?
Yeah.
And then you found a really good deal and it was much cheaper. But
yeah,
so it can be really varied. So all in all, we paid just under 200 quid.
Yeah.
So pre-warned, I mean, the learning of this is just don't bother taking a ridiculous amount of weight, because, I mean, if you got money, go for it, if you want to have, a bit more comfort, but just be warned, you're going to be spending, north of 60 to 100 pounds each flight.
Yeah.
And if you're flying every couple of weeks, that's going to add up.
Yeah, I know, I'm not happy about it, to be honest. Like, I mean, we even spoke about maybe sending some stuff back, but I feel like at this point now, with the amount of flights we've got left,
well, like we've booked them all, yeah.
Yeah, so we've like weighed it up, the cost benefit, and but defo, the next leg.
Oh, hundo.
I'm gonna just the idea is pack a small suitcase, and only take what will fit in that small suitcase, but then put it into a bigger suitcase and don't add anything, because then. You're looking at me like I'm mental.
Well, I don't get what.
Well, I feel like that's because one of the issues with packing is, one, that we've got too much stuff, but the second issue is it's making it all fit and getting the suitcase to shop. So if you've got less in your suitcase than if you've got a lot of space in your suitcase, it's going to make it a lot easier to pack. Plus, then if we do end up buying anything, then we've got the room to pack that, and you're definitely not going to be overweight. So like the black suitcase, I'd pack that with clothes, and if it doesn't fit in there, you're not taking it.
Right, I see what you're saying.
But that one suitcase is quite a small. You haven't got much leeway to make sure that it packs properly. So then, if you take in like a medium-sized suitcase, but only put in the amount that can fit into a small suitcase, then it's going to make packing so much easier. Plus, you've got a bit of wiggle room for if you do buy anything when you're travelling.
So you're saying we both do that?
Yeah.
So then we both end up just filling up basically a medium suitcase.
Well, no, we'd end up filling like half a medium suitcase each.
Yeah, that's what we... Yeah, so we'd fill up a full one.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the total amount would fill one suitcase, but we'd have two suitcases so that...
I'm not following at all.
Right.
I know we fit... When we leave for the next flight, what are we going to have in our hands?
Well, my thinking is a medium suitcase each that's half filled. Maybe that's...
What the fuck?
Scott's like, why?
Why?
For the reasons that I've just said, so it'll be easier to pack. Because if we both each just took a small suitcase,
right,
with the amount of stuff that we've packed, it can become quite difficult to get it closed, can't it? You know how much of a faff it is to close a suitcase.
It is a faff, but if it's going to fit in a small suitcase anyway, it's a lot easier to just get around with a small suitcase.
Well, maybe we do that then. I mean, that's what we did in Mexico, innit? But
it's going to make a lot of sense. Yeah.
My logic was, it's just easier to pack without the stress of rolling it up, making sure that it goes there, making sure it goes there. And also, if we were to buy anything on our travel, such as art, like we've discussed, then we've got room in a suitcase.
Well, I can see, if you wanted to buy, I would love to buy some art. Okay. So we're going to have to figure it out, because we both know there's no chance we're going to be able to make a small suitcase work. So we have to figure that out. Because we're both hoarders. Well, we're not hoarders, that's the wrong word. Well, I'm definitely not a hoarder.
I love that correction, because you know that I am.
Well, you are, yeah. But I'm definitely not. But I do like comfort, and I do like to have a lot of things.
Yeah, well, this is it.
Sounds like a hoarder, doesn't it? But
no, but it's having the things that make you comfortable. Is it like having that alternative pair of shoes, or having enough pairs of socks, having enough underwear to not have to do laundry like daily or whatever? Like, it's that comfort of having enough to choose from. But I think we'd get over that.
I think we would. I think what you do is you assess what have you actually used, and I've started to realise I'm not using some items. Like my muscle gun.
Yeah.
So my muscle gun, I'm sure some people out there have it. You know, it's that. Yeah, I call it a muscle gun, but it's probably not the name. But you know that thing that basically you just vibrates and it looks like a gun, but you know it's for your muscles. It's very nice, by the way. I recommend it. It's a nice purchase if you do a lot of exercise. I do love having that, but I haven't used it a great deal. And that is bulky and it weighs a lot. So I think I would drop that. Mm-hmm. But I do want it, but I'm not using it. So I think I'll drop something like that.
See, I don't want to change your mind on that.
No, because baby, don't, because this is why it's so difficult, because we don't want to drop anything. That's something more difficult to drop, but we need. There's no way we're going to fill this.
If you're going to be doing ultras and stuff like you have been, though, you've used it after your runs.
Yeah, it's useful, but I've barely used it. I've only really used it for that.
Which I suppose you can always just book in for a massage, couldn't you, somewhere here?
Yeah, which has worked out well, you know. And a lot, it is something nice to have. But if you were to compare it with the amount of times I'm using it, I'm really only using it really on my race days. You know, even just running generally, I'm not really using it.
Yeah.
Now and then I am, you know, when my body's hurting.
Yeah.
So, and I've got Nanatai DP for that anyway. So.
Yes.
So Nanatai is someone we love, who's our massage therapist back at home. She's in Thailand now, isn't she?
She was coming. Yeah, I'm not sure what dates exactly.
Yeah, because we just missed her. She was actually we messaged her just say, hey, we're in Thailand, because she was giving us tips about and that's where she's from also, and she replied saying I'm going to be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sadly, we just missed her, so it's a shame because it would have been really nice to like go and have some dinner with her.
It would, because she's so lovely.
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
We love her. Love
and
you
now. Yeah, and she's an incredible massage therapist.
She is. Better than any massage that we've had in Thailand.
She just knows. She can figure you out so quickly.
Yeah.
And she customizes it, and if you say you've got a cramp or something, she's not just gonna go, okay, I'll do that bit as well. She'll work on it. You know, I've had a work cramp out my calf for like 40 minutes, just work on it.
Yeah.
And the next day felt great. Like, I love that she'll customize to what you need versus just like, oh yeah, I'll get that bit as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, she is. Like, it's like she feels it, even if you don't tell her. Like, I feel like
she can. Yeah, she knows. And she's got a good spirit as well. She's got a funny energy, you know. Yeah. She's always laughing. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
You might be mad at me for saying this, but she told me that you're like, when she gets in you.
Yeah, she always says that, and it's embarrassing because I'm not like
vocal.
That. I am quite. No. Yeah. So that's what she says. She's, for a small woman, she can blooming heck. She can make you work. Wow. Sure. But that's kind of part of the massage piece. Yeah. You know, massaging.
Just before we do move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So Scott and I have ordered food through Grab, which we often do. And it's great. Grab's great for not only taxis, but...
Grab is very versatile. You can even get your medication on it.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, you can do...
Yeah.
Have we spoke about what you got delivered through Grab? I don't think we have.
No, I do have it on there, but I moved it. It is hilarious, though, that story.
Well, I feel like we need to share it now, don't we?
Yeah, we can...
Well,
what are you saying about Grab, though?
I'm going to message the driver and say, could you please leave it in reception so that it's not waiting for us.
Okay.
So, would you like to tell the story of what we got on Grab behind
Yeah, it was quite funny. So, it's just an ordering app, you know, like you'd have anywhere else, but it's got a lot more to it. It's, you know, taxis, pharmacies, food. I think there's a bunch of other stuff on there, but yeah, it's the app. It seems like in most of Asia, well, so far, you know, Indonesia, we used it, Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. So, I don't know if Japan is using it as well. We'll soon find out. And also, they use it as Grab Pay. So a lot of places don't take card.
Singapore, I found, was really hot on that Grab Pay.
Yeah, not as much here. So Singapore was all about Grab Pay. So I know Japan is similar to that, but it's not Grab. It's that chat. It's called like WeChat. Yeah. So anyway, it's quite a handy app. But we, just to let you know, if you do come from, well, I don't know how the fuck do I say this? If you have a big cock. I don't want to offend people here.
Listen, it's not a dig. It's just an anatomical, like, accuracy, I guess.
It seems to be. You've said it in a very nice way. It seems to be that the stereotyping is true. That I'm not going to say it, but anyway.
Would you like me to say it?
Yeah. Okay.
So, something that I know as a sex educator is, because I've taught sex ed in high school. It's one of my many subjects that I've taught. Sizes on condoms are not to do with length; they are to do with girth. So, you know, you're talking about extra large condoms, etc. That is to do with the diameter of the ring of the condom. So so if you've got a girthier manhood, then you would have a larger condom, but it doesn't really change the length of the condom. And in Asia, condom sizes are, and it'll show you on the packet of a condom, there'll be concentric circles, like, you know, circle within a circle within a circle, and whichever one is in bold is showing you basically what the size is. And all of the ones in Indonesia had the smallest circle in bold, which means that it's going to suffocate a Western cock, for lack of a better way of putting it. So, I mean, and they even came in, like, it wasn't even a square packet, was it? It was like a tiny, it was like a toy. It was like a Ken doll condom.
It was weird.
It was, like a chewing gum packet.
Yeah.
Like, really small, like, individually wrapped chewing gum packet.
And for some reason, a lot of them are coffee flavour.
Yeah, there was
never knew
coffee
people
flavour.
wanted that.
But, yeah, so we did... In Indonesia, we kind of struggled with finding appropriately sized condoms. But in Malaysia, we did find some extra large ones that we that we ordered and had delivered.
Yeah,
From a Grab driver, which when you order something to be delivered, like food or condoms, the driver has to go into the shop and purchase them.
That's correct, yeah.
Or the shop prepares it. And anyway, it was obvious what it was. But not only that, it had a stapled receipt on the front that said extra large chocolate condoms.
Yeah. So we both went down. I think it was on Valentine's Day as well.
It was on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was on Valentine's Day. So we were going down, you know, he's here. We go all the way down to the lobby. And we kind of realised it in the elevator, we didn't really think about it until that moment, because we're like, we need this. We realised we were about to face this guy that knows he's just driven across to Ampan, which they don't like, to give us condoms. You know, and
big ones,
and you know, it's quite a Muslim country as well, so you know that's also a piece that maybe didn't like. So,
well,
yeah,
I'm sure he was fine. Like,
yeah,
it's
well, he didn't
available on the app. He could have turned down the job.
Yeah, he wasn't angry. You know, he didn't have a go at us or lecturers, but it was just quite comical when he handed this small bag to us.
It was.
And luckily he didn't make any remarks, because that would have been so embarrassing. We just sort of scurried away into the elevator and ran away.
We did.
So it was just, when you think back of it, it's hilarious. And, what was that other elevator story where it was somewhere down there where we both ran away. We were coming down, was it?
Oh, you farted.
Oh, yeah.
You did a massive fart. And it stank while we were waiting for the lifts to come, and then the doors were opening, and so we just both shot to each side of the wall so no one could see us.
Yeah, we ran away, but we did it a bit too late. So the guy saw two people go from waiting for the elevator to running, either like running away either side to hide. And he noticed it and came out of the elevator and looked left and right and kind of sort of peered to see where we'd gone. And then walked on. We had a few silly moments in that place. Is the food all good?
Yeah, I believe so. I've sent him a message and it's been read. So.
Okay, cool. We also tried a durian in Malaysia, which is probably something people wouldn't choose to try. But this, when we went down into downtown Malaysia, there was a nice market on. It was sort of it wasn't like a weekly market. It looked like some sort of promotional market for oat milk.
The brand Oatside.
Yeah, outside, yeah.
Just good milk.
Yeah, it is good milk. And we were going around, and this one guy who was on one of the stalls was chatting to us from, where was he from? Yeah, it was really diverse.
Syria.
Yeah, from Syria, and then the other guy was from Japan. And we had a good chat with him, and he was expressing how much he loves durian. And he was like, it's lovely, he loves it. And I was like, really? He was like, yes, you've got to try it. Like, you're in the... So Malaysia, by the way, is apparently the place of the durian. It's like, it's everywhere. It is big, there'll be big balloons of durians, there'll be big sort of statues of durians and stuff.
Yeah.
Outside restaurants. There'll be...
Like chains of durian places, like
like shops,
Durian or something like that,
and restaurants completely focused on durian, like just selling durian ice cream or just different ways of durian food.
Yeah.
So it's beloved there. So we're like, you know what? Let's give it. It smells, as we've mentioned it. If you don't know what a durian is, it stinks like a sewage. But it's a fruit. It's the most bizarre thing. But the smell of it is god awful. And the Syrian guy said, "Hey, you should try Mudder King." Mudder King?
Something like that.
Like Mudder King. There's different types of durian.
Musang King.
Musang King.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. So we picked that one. You can just get some small trays of it. And you actually get given gloves. You get given gloves to eat it because, again, if you get it on your fingertips and that, it'll be smelling, as we learnt, for weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a pretty smelling one. And we just went for it, didn't we?
We did. I wasn't expecting to do it, to be honest. I knew that you were going for it. I didn't think that I was actually going to try it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you definitely led that charge. I mean, you've been talking about it since Indonesia when you're like joking that after that chocolate I was going to have to try the real durian. But yeah, when you said it on that night, I was like, I'm not going to try it. And then you got it, and I thought, well, why not? And then for some reason, like, we got the gloves on and everything. We both, like, before we ate it, had a smell. Like, why would you... Because, like, we used to smell in food.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the taste definitely was not as bad as the smell.
No.
But I wouldn't have it again. I think that's a try it and done.
How would you explain taste? Because it wasn't what I expected.
No, well, so, as Scott said, it smells like sewage, or for me, it smells like bin juice. Like,
oh God, yeah,
hot, height of summer bin juice. God. You all know what I mean by that.
Oh, it's making me feel sick.
But that's the exact smell, isn't it? Though
there's
no better way to describe it than bin juice.
Like that isn't an overstatement. Like that is exactly what it smells like.
Yeah, it is, and the taste is somewhat oniony, I would say, but like soft, gone off onion that's been blended. It's very soft. Yeah, it's like soft and...
Sort of like stringy. It's stringy, sort of soft and...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that I've had that is a similar... maybe like creamed corn. I don't know, like that
like
kind
mashed potato kind of.
Yeah, maybe like, something like that.
Like a bit, had a bit more consistency to it. But.
Yeah, but it tasted like probably gone off onions that you've blended.
Yeah, for me it was like onion gravy. Like it was like
it
was. My head could not put all the three together.
And a little bit creamy, wasn't it? It was just a little bit creamy.
But it was so bizarre, I mean, it's not many. When you have a fruit, you usually get a hit of a fresh, really flavorful taste. Very sweet, and this was just so not the norm. It was odd to experience.
Yeah. But then, like, we saw people in the same street.
Oh, that made me sick.
A group of people just, like, gobbling it down. Like, wait, is that what you...
Yeah, no, they did. They literally... But this is going to hurt your ears, so just be... But they were, like... I looked over and there was this one woman going...
Oh,
and it was just, like... When I saw that, I was, like, gipping. Like, they even, like, cheersed it. They're like, okay. And they were, like, all... Like, they were so excited to eat it. They, like, cheersed it and, like, they were just getting it all over themselves. So durian is, a beloved fruit there, and around Asia it's beloved.
Yeah,
it's not, give it a go. It will put you right off initially, but just give it a go.
Definitely try it. It's just iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the mistake we made was we didn't buy a drink with it.
No, that was
a big mistake.
Yeah, that was
which we realised as we were about to eat it that we've got nothing to wash this down.
Yeah. And if you want to see that video, you can go to A City I Love, which is a YouTube video that shows our travels.
Yes, but you will have to wait because Shelby hasn't edited that video
Shelby's not edited that video, but you can see 2 other great videos.
You can, yeah. So the Singapore one is coming out very soon, and then the Malaysia will be shortly after that.
Malaysia. So wherever we go, we do a great video. So
yeah.
Shelby's driving all that, and it's great. So if you want to see a visual form of us and what we get up to, then go over to. It's on YouTube. Is there an Instagram?
Yes. The Instagram is A City I Love X.
X. Is that the same for YouTube?
No, it's not, because somebody stole my Instagram.
What is it for? Oh, okay.
So it's A City I Love on YouTube.
A City I Love.
Yeah.
All one. Okay.
All one. And then, on Instagram it's A City I Love with like the kiss on the end.
Okay.
X.
Okay. Yeah. So there's where you can find it.
Yes. And if anyone knows the owner of A City I Love on Instagram, who has no followers, follows no one, and has no posts, but you can contact them and tell them to give me their handle, I'd appreciate it.
That would be great. Because I guess we've done that with the podcast, haven't we? Because if you search Balls Deep, you will find about 6 podcasts called Balls Deep, which, I mean, you would argue from an SEO point of view that isn't the smartest idea to call it Balls Deep, but we just loved it when we hadn't done any research when we thought, well, you thought of the title. We just loved it and what it all meant. And then when we looked up, but the good thing is those other 6 podcasts, they haven't posted in like years.
Yeah.
So
we should do some research and see how many episodes they got to, and then we'll celebrate once we've reached that amount.
I know what. Yeah, there's a real mixture. One is I've listened to one of the episodes and it's 2 porn stars.
Great.
Yeah, it's 2 porn stars that talk.
Is it us?
What?
Is it us?
Maybe in the future. Maybe if this goes off, we'll do an OnlyFans if this goes off. You can see us in any way you want. Just give us enough money and we'll get to it. At what time are we on, my love?
It's 10. Oh, right. You mean of
the podcast?
47 minutes.
47 minutes. Wow. Again, barely any points. I want to stay positive because there was another negative thing I was going to say. It's not a negative thing, just something we've noticed.
Well, shall we quickly just say people don't wait in lines in Asia?
Yeah, they don't wait in line. But it's weird because in the UK, that would be very rude.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't queue up and, stay in
we
your
are
position.
queuing people. That is
we are, yeah.
A very integral part of our culture.
Exactly, yeah. If you've watched the guides, what was it, the Galaxy Guides to the I've just watched
Hitchhiker's Guides to the Galaxy.
Guides to the Galaxy, the scene where Martin Freeman, he says, "Stand back, I know how to queue, I'm British." And he goes and queues. There's a great scene, it shows it brilliantly. So for us to experience people queue jumping, it's like shocking. Yeah. It's like really, it's hurtful almost. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, is it because we're tourists? Like, why are you doing it? Like, but it's not personal, I don't think.
No, it's happened too much to not be personal. We really feel that it's a culture thing because too many. Well, it's just happening all the time. Wherever we go, Singapore. Maybe not Indonesia, but Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand has been the exact same.
Yeah.
People. If you're not right up the arse of the next person in the queue, they see that as a gap and they'll be in there.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, they're just going to go, F the queue, I'm just going to go to the front.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Again, I find that very rude. And it's happened to us it happens to us like every week we go out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like we were queuing for food in Bangkok in our, like the one that we went to a couple of times in our condo. Yeah. And the guy just we were stood there with menus in hand ready to order, and he just walked up and shouted the order at her.
Yeah, he just shouted her to come over and then just did his order and buggered off. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I found the one in Bangkok interesting when we get our SIM card.
Yeah.
Interesting. It was so. We were there way before this other couple. We were next in line. This couple came and they just what they do is they come beside you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and then they, the wife of the couple was making it very clear, I'm going to be in front of you. And we had been there for 5 minutes before that.
Yeah, we've been waiting a good while, so we weren't keen to be waiting much longer.
No, but even regardless of how long we've been, what the fuck, there's a queue here. But interesting, the partner, the guy did pull her back.
Yeah.
He pulled it, when we went, we were forcing ourselves.
We were excuse me.
Yeah, we're
Way
like,
next.
no chance. You don't have
Yeah.
enough. And to be fair, the husband did pull her back.
Yeah.
And she was like trying to go forward.
That's the first time I've ever seen anyone like...
Yeah, it's the first time
Yeah.
pulling back. So it's an odd one. So just be warned. Don't be shocked by it.
And don't be offended by it. It's just like if they see a gap, they think that you're not ready to be helped. I think that's the thing.
I don't know what the meaning is behind it. Just, I think even there's been many cases where there hasn't been gaps. So I think, I don't know, there's part of the culture that people just don't care. It's just every man and woman for themselves, it seems.
Yeah.
Which I think is a shame. I don't like that, but hey, you've got to embrace the cultures you're in and
there'll be plenty of things
be a part of it
that we do that's other people will think is rude and, you know, whatever. Like, well, something that we've maybe not got time to go too far into, but like showing, like pointing your feet towards a Buddha statue.
Oh yeah,
that you
I didn't know that. Yeah, I know it chucked out of a temple. Yeah, because I didn't know. We were just in there, and we're always super respectful. But I went from cross-legged because my knees were hurting, and I just put my legs out flat. But that means the bottom of my feet was facing Buddha, which is super disrespectful. We found out, which was, oh shit. So yeah.
But like they didn't have a go or anything. They were just like, oh, your feet. You know, like they just said, you can't sit that way.
Yeah, well, now we learned, so it's fine. So just be mindful that if you're in any temples, don't show the base of your feet towards the Buddha. You'll get thrown out.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you on the queue jumping thing. I actually embraced the culture the other day at that show.
Oh really?
Yeah. I just thought, fine. You know, I'm going to immerse I'm going to just be a part of it. And I actually felt bad because it was weird. So when I went to the show, I keep forgetting the name. So it's called like Neum Siramet Phuket show. Really great show. I'd recommend to go. You know, a little bit pricey, but it's great for kids, great for adults. It's a really very impressive staging. The staging's awesome. They make it rain. There's a river in there. They have like 20 different environments. They've got ships in it. It's incredible. But anyway, I wanted a bottle of water. I went there. This woman was about to pay for a bottle of water, but she was fumbling around with her coins for like ages. And I was like, I had a 20 ready for it. So I just went, you know what, I'm just going to go in and just put the cash in his face. Because that's what everyone's been doing for us. Yeah. And I did it, and the guy didn't want to initially serve me. He was like, oh, I'm just serving her, sir. Her, sir. And then she noticed me, and she went, oh, yeah, go. You know, I'm still fine. So she seemed fine about it. Yeah. But it's interesting that the person serving wanted to...
Yeah, because
that hasn't been what we've experienced. So then I felt a bit bad. But I thought, you know, this is what I've experienced, so I'm just going to do it.
I feel like in that instance, like, not like... Yeah, that's fine. You're ready to pay for it's not like you're going to then stand there and take an hour of his time that's then going to delay her in any way. You're literally like, right, I've got the thing, there's the money, right, I'm off.
Yeah,
so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's like, I'd probably do that in a Starbucks or whatever. Like, normally the person, if someone's fumbling, they're like, oh, do you want to serve so-and-so? Wouldn't you? Like, that's... Well, if I was fumbling with money, I'd say, oh, do you want to serve the next... Well, we did it in the bloody airport and then got abandoned, didn't we? We were like, oh, yeah, serve other people, we'll sort our bags.
And then he abandoned us,
And then he's pissed off.
So don't be worried if that happens. That's quite a normal thing. Apparently our food's arrived.
Yes, he sent us a picture that looks like a lot of food.
That does look like a lot. Where is that? Is that better not get taken?
It's in reception. Yeah, that's reception.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's so nice when the hotel reception takes that.
We've never asked them. We've just kind of done it by force every time.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And we've had driver's licenses delivered there today.
Well.
What shall we... We've got 6 minutes left.
We've got 6 minutes. We like to keep it to an hour. Do we have time for that? What's it called? Instant driving license?
Yes.
Is that actually what it's called?
No.
No, oh, fucking hell.
International
driving. Go on, let's do that.
Okay, so we found out we're going to be going to, this is going to be a speedy version, going to Japan. We didn't realise that renting a car there, you need to have a international driving permit. So we've found out that it's something that you need to get before you get to Japan. So it's not something you can get on arrival. And we know that we need to rent a car in Japan because, particularly for Scots Run, we're going to be on an island. that is going to have limited transport. Also around Osaka seems to have limited transport options.
Yeah, the public transport isn't great in the first area of Japan we're going, and because we're bouncing between, we're going Osaka and we want to go to Kyoto for a couple of days, for a day trip. We're then going Hiroshima, we're then going Tsushima, all within like 2.5-3 weeks.
Yeah. Doing
that on public transport just seems pricey, and also the public transport just doesn't seem to get us there very fast. Whereas a car can get us to all those places in like.
And we can do it on our own pace as well. Like
exactly.
We don't need to be
more
tied
control.
to a bus timetable or whatever. So I posed the question to a few chats in Thailand, like how do we get this IDP in Thailand before we get to Japan? There was conflicting information online of you need to go to the equivalent of the DVLA in Thailand, but you should also have a Thai driver's license. But then some things said you don't. You just need your UK driver's license. So we spent a good day at this DVLA of Thailand. It was only supposed to be an hour out.
Yeah.
Turns out you can't get it. So heads up, you can't get it in Thailand unless you've already got a Thai driver's license. So,
which you then need for 5 years, right?
Yeah, you need a 5-year. Well, you need to have one for 2 years before you can get a 5-year driving permit, and then you can get an international driver's permit.
Yeah, so
with that.
Pointless unless you've lived there for that amount of time.
So if you're travelling like we are, basically get it in the UK before you leave.
You need to have it in the UK. Yeah.
Originally, it's from the post office. That's where we got ours from. But from now, you're going to have to get it from a pay point.
Yeah, as of the 1st of April.
Yeah, so literally the day of recording.
The day, yeah.
So what we ended up doing was we got some photos taken, which turned out to be the wrong size, but we sent them back home.
Which might add, you go into a post office and you have a photo booth, and it's it's a professional photo booth, and they come out really nice. Here in Thailand, it was someone with a mobile phone, and it was official. It was next to the DVL building, DVL A building. And it was just someone with a mobile phone and like this backdrop that looked like it had been made that day.
They'd even got a shirt hung on the chair that you could put on.
Yeah, they even had this like grim blue shirt that you could put on to be smart, and they printed it up. Like that's just those moments when you're traveling. I love. Just like it's just.
It was a funny moment.
Yeah.
And then we photocopied our passports and driver's licenses.
Yeah.
Then
worked out well.
They what?
That worked out well.
Yeah, that worked out well. And then we went to, first of all, a post office, but they couldn't get our documents home quick enough. So we then went to DHL.
Yeah.
Which, was like within a couple of days it'd be back home. So the plan was to send these documents to my dad, who was going to then take them into the post office, who I'd had to ring through Skype and try and get them to agree to do it. And my dad went in the post office to confirm yet again that they would do it. And he was on WhatsApp call to me, and he walked in and he said to the woman, "My daughter's in Bangkok, can she talk to you?"
Yeah.
And then I just heard in the background, this woman, "What for?" So, he went, "She needs the driving licence." And she's like, "A driving licence?" He went, "Well, you just talk to her." So I spoke to her on the phone, and she initially was like, "You need to be here to do it." And I said, "Well, online it says that someone else can get it on my behalf if they have the right documents." I'm talking super quick, so I'm really excited about this. So where was that?
You going on the phone to the woman. And
it turns out, yes, if someone else has got all of your documents, they can procure an international driving permit for you, which the owner of the post office agreed to. So he said, as long as you have a passport photo, and I can see photos of your driver's license, which can be through WhatsApp, like as long as he's seen this, and it's valid and in date front and back, then they will make it. One issue being that you need to sign it basically the minute that you get it. So we sent back these photos that we had done. We sent back the photocopies of our driver's license. Thought it was all going to be good. A couple of days later, when my dad gets it, he rang me from the post office and he said, "We've got an issue. The photos are the wrong size." We'd had visa size photos done rather than passport photos, which I still believe they could have cut, but he said no, it's just the wrong size altogether. So then again, back on Skype call, which is great. Thank you, Tasha.
Skype. If you're traveling, don't bother with any other thing. Skype.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. 400 minutes for what? How many pounds?
I think it's $7.99.
$7.99, 400 minutes. It gives you a phone number. You can call anyone. You can pay extra if you want people to call you. But if you don't pay extra, then you can only call out. It has been a godsend.
Yeah.
It's helped us deal with bank problems. It's helped us deal with, any communication.
Yeah.
It's been so affordable. Skype is great. And it's just on your mobile and you just call.
Yeah, you just download the app and then you can call any UK number.
UK number.
You can't call, like, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but premium rate numbers.
Yeah.
But
any bank accounts you can call.
Yeah, the banks, you can call their, well, you can even call their international number, which is usually a +441 anyway.
Yeah, what's that about?
That's the one that I always phone from within the UK because it's free.
That's the silliest thing. Yeah, I got told that by TSB. Oh, don't worry. So you can call out an international number, which
just so happens to be +44.
What international number? Then you need a bunch, don't you?
Yeah.
I can't believe that's
bizarre.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
But yeah. So then we ended up calling a Max Spielman, which is a photo printing shop, which was within Asda at Doncaster Dome. Explained the situation to the woman. I said, if I send you photos, can you please make them a passport photo? And she said, yeah, we can do that if you email it over. She said if it's high quality, white background and everything. So we took the photos out on the balcony. I was like in my knickers and a t-shirt. Yeah. So we took them. Initially we didn't take yours with your glasses on. I was like, oh, maybe we need them with your glasses on. I was like, well, maybe take it without your glasses. So then I put them in Canva, removed the background, made it a white background, emailed it over to her, rang her back. I was like, is that okay? Will you do it? She said, yeah. My dad went and got the photos, went to the post office, got the driver's licenses, asked them to send it, but it's going to be 70 quid from the post office.
Yeah, post offices are not great at sending international. They can do it, but it's going to be super pricey and it's going to take twice as long. Yeah,
which in fairness they said it would be 2 days, but
and it was Easter Monday, which we forgot.
Yeah, we forgot it's a bank holiday weekend. So that was a worry. But then my dad ended up going to a DHL, which we've had good experience with. Don't know how much it costs because bless him, he's paid for it and he won't tell me how much to send him. So it's £5.50 for the actual driver's license, which I think is really reasonable.
Oh right, was it?
Yeah.
That's wild, gee.
I know.
Have you paid your dad back for that?
I will send him that, yes.
Oh, yeah,
because he won't tell me how much for the delivery.
Right, well, we'll just send him some money then.
Yeah. And they've come today, so that's very exciting. We had it sent to our hotel room, and the hotel tried to call up to let us know that it had arrived, but Scott had unplugged the phone and shoved it in a cupboard so that it got more space on his bedside table.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that is true. Lucky you had the app, I guess, pinged you for the tracking.
Yeah, got an email to say that it had arrived.
Thank God, because I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
known. Yeah, well, that's great. I'm so happy. I mean, you've been the driver, you and your family.
The driver, wait.
The driver, yes. The drivers of that. And I thank you very much for that. So thank you so much for sorting that, because I know it was the right faff and it was a lot of steps. And I know the Facebook group wasn't that particularly helpful, so I know you figured it out. And well done you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, because it's made our travel in Japan so much easier, because otherwise it was going to be, one, a lot of investment in public transport, and two, the public transport, like Osaka to Kyoto, it's like 2.5 hours on a train.
Yeah.
In a car, it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, so it's going to make a big difference.
It doesn't seem like, the public transport is connected around there, so, yeah.
Yeah, and thank you to my parents for all their support in the
process.
process.
Yes, Michael and Lindsay, thank you so much.
Been good ins.
They did. Without, well, it wouldn't have happened without them.
No, for sure.
It really wouldn't have. So I like that, because even though we were going to stick to all the travel updates, we did some travelling hacks as well. So that does a good blend of the episode now.
Yeah,
so that's good.
That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, because we like to have a good blend, because otherwise it's just one thing you guys hear. So we like to have a good blend between updates, travelling hacks, and our relationship as well. And we've got a bunch that we want to dive into for our relationship. development, things we've learned about each other, funny things, interesting things, things that we can grow on. So I think we might dedicate more of a weighted episode, maybe the next one on that.
Yeah.
And then we might do more of a weighted episode on travel hacks, because
so many tips.
Yeah, we've got so many things. Like, we at the start of this podcast, we're like, God, what are we going to talk about? And now we've got too much to talk about. So I guess that's a really good position to be in, because I feel so many podcasts get worried. You know, they get to a position where they sort of exhaust. You know, if you're not interviewing people, it's, oh no, my alarm's going off.
The one thing that we have at the start of the podcast is make sure everything's on silent, make sure there's no notifications. And might I add, they've always been Scott's notifications.
Yeah, annoyingly they have, and I'm usually super diligent about stuff like that, but I do, well, that's a conversation on its own. Scott's alarm setting, I will have about 20 alarms that go off each day for things.
And then I hear at 8 a.m, hey Siri, wait, what is it? Snooze for 10 minutes.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like,
snooze.
Oh, you wanting to go back to sleep, are you, darling? Because now I'm wide awake.
Yeah, and I'll do that about 3 times.
You will.
Yeah, because sometimes she doesn't actually hear me, so then it'll just go off again 5 minutes later. So we'll just have a battle for an hour. So yeah.
Well,
but yeah, it's been a good episode. I've enjoyed it.
It has, me too. So, well, we thank you for taking a break from your day to get balls deep with us. Until next time, remember,
stay ballsy,
dive deep,
but don't forget your snorkel.
Balls deep.